And so it was. It was a great weekend. I hope you had a great weekend. Welcome to Tukuriada. Yes, athletics, sports, and everything between. And I hope you're doing well. I hope this channel is your channel for sports. If you are interested in sports and my subscriber, I appreciate your company, your encouragement, your motivation. Push me on. Keep pushing me around and letting me know that you are there. I check it out. You viewed it, you liked it. And by the way, it's still free, my friend. Very free indeed. I pay myself by saying thank you very much. That's how I pay myself. To Koreada. And it's me again, my friend, engaging you in a conversation that might take you from America, Europe, maybe Africa, particularly Kenya and Uganda. We'll get there. But let's give a lot of flowers to our newlyweds, Femke Bol, the Belgium, the 400 now 800-meter runner. Tried the 800 indoor. Her debut, she tried it. She went under 2 minutes. Now she's like, oh, well, let me get married. And she did. And it's always exciting to see people committing to each other in this matrimonial arrangement that only death shall do us apart, not injuries. She got injured and she's getting married. That's how you recover, my friend. Femke Bol, 800 meters runner from Belgium, Brussels. Flowers, a lot of honeymoon to happen, a lot of love to be shared, a lot of life to be shared, a lot of experiences. I think that's where life is. In relationships, my friend, we can do anything else. But if we don't have good relationship with anybody, with anything, we are wasting time. Talking of relationships, I don't know how that's. I love when I found that tangent, like switch on to Kenya, my friend. The Kenyans have no life jackets. They can't swim. They are scared of water, and now they are getting flooded by the rainy seasons. And everybody's blaming everybody. Cars are floating. They are showing up on people's doorsteps. Some people just get out of their slams and they're looking outside. There's a Mercedes Benz parked out there. They didn't buy it. They tried to get into it. It's not a boat. So they just maybe salvage the parts that are left from the floods. Diapers, they're dirty, so you can't reuse them. Houses, people are fighting over houses that are floating in the river, Nairobi River. I'm making fun of those situations because these are sad state of affairs in Kenya, which can be avoided if we took care of the basics. The governor is going around blaming the old systems. The infrastructure of Nairobi is old. Really? We are 60-year-old country and we are still blaming the colonials. And the fact that we haven't upgraded, we haven't taken care of our sewage system, we don't collect garbage. Our infrastructures are just rotten to the core, including buildings that collapse without rain at all. They just collapse because people shortcut, people bribe their way into not building houses and tall buildings according to the codes. So, this is a human-made disaster in Nairobi, my friend. You can say it's an act of God. People are talking of weather changes, weather patterns. There's more flooding because blah, blah, blah. It's all about this, the climate change. But no, 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 no. We have to look in the mirror. We have to look at the soul of a country that is just going bananas and say that we fail as a collective. Kenyans are like I keep telling you, we are not a country, we are a phenomenon. We are fragmented, phenomenal, collective, tribal things that we just gather there when the Olympiads and the athletes are winning around the flag. We gather around the flag and say, I'm a Kenyan man. That is Kipchoge. That is my boy. That is faith. In faith we have. All this blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you, my friend, the pride of the country is always seen in the little things that we do. And the little things we do in the country of Kenya are pathetic. When people throw trash In every angle you see, from a matatu, people throwing trash, like they have what they call flying toilets in the slums. So people take a shit on a plastic bag and they throw it to the neighbor's roof. Those are flying toilets. When you have those kind of value systems, when people don't give a damn, because there's a hopelessness and there's this, when there's no pride, when there's no custodianship, when the churches in the slums are speaking of Canaan, when the churches in the country are saying, "This is not my home, I'm just passing through, blah, 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 and na, na, na." So when people say in their faith, "That is not my home," that we are looking forward to a home full of gold, milk, and honey. When people ignore that this is our earth and is asking us to take care of it, is demanding that we were given the earth by the Maker, who pronounced it to be good, and he said, "Take care of it." And now we are saying, "This is not my home, I'm just passing through." You're going to be floating some diapers. You're going to be having floods. You're going to be a country that is just being swept by what you created, that you haven't taken care of, that you've ignored for a long time. All you do is flying your choppers, driving your Prados, your SUVs, because you think you're going to beat Mother Nature. The earth is crying and is crying tears of flood, Kenyans. My friend, don't get me preaching here. I'm not a preacher, but I'm a son of a preacher. Kenyans, we really look deeply into our souls and ask ourselves this question: what happened? Somebody say, when did the rain start beating us? It's been beating us for a long time. We've just become indifferent. We become callous. We become cold. We, not only Kenyans, human beings, after a while, we become desensitized. We become indifferent to what we see. When somebody is just throwing trash around, throwing diapers into a drainage system, when people in the market ignore the basics of collecting their trash and putting it away, huh? What do you expect to see? When there's no trees being planted in a city like Nairobi that used to be a big rainforest, and now all we see is these makeshifts. Houses like look like houses and they're not. Huh? Leaders, politicians, cartels just flying around, ignoring the ground. And people on the ground don't even care about themselves. Like I say, flying toilets is a common theme. When you don't have sanitary systems that are able to cater to the 5 million to 6 million Nairobians and beyond, this is what you expect. And Noah is not building an ark for Kenyans, my friend. Noah is not showing up. The prophet is not showing up. The governor of Nairobi, is not even to blame. As much as I'm trying to blame him, is a collective failure. Is a collective failure of a country, a people. We've just given up on ourselves, and it is coming back to bite us. Opening remarks about the floods in Nairobi and beyond. And it's as sad as it is, it's expected over the years that we've seen how we've neglected our environment, our city, ourselves, and we think all we are going to do is just, oh, it's an act of God. God is not in the fray, my friend. It's you and I. Take care of your business. Taking care of business. Let's go to LA Marathon. I was watching a clip of this LA Marathon, and the winner, Nathan Martin, the American, comes back on a Kenyan who, according to some people who observe this race closely, there's a fan or a spectator that interfered in the 26th mile. There's a lady with a flag coming on 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 the marathon course, and kind of disorienting the leader, the Kenyan leader. And for that reason, he paid a big price at the end. If that is true, I need to ask about security in a country that claims to be secure, that claims that they are very secure, that we have what it takes to go to another country and bomb it. So, according to some interesting reads I'm seeing here, Michael Kimani Kamau got distracted, got off course a little bit in the 26th mile. And for that reason, he seems to stumble at the end and gets nipped by quickly charging Nathan Martin, who wins the race in 2:11. Is this the second time we are seeing spectators on the course? Last time I remember there's something about a car almost hitting a pedestrian or a runner in a race. I don't remember where in America. I'll check it out sometimes. So we are having in America people not paying attention to the well-being of athletes. This is what it boils down to. Because spectators are allowed to cheer. That's fine. But when they get on the course and they impede or they distract athletes, we got a problem in the organizers' way of putting these races together. There's a lot of money on the table here. $10,000, $12,000 to be won. And this guy loses because he got distracted. The Kenyan goes home. He's second, but that's not what he looked like at the end. Though I'll say this, as distraction can be, I don't think he had what it took at the end of the race anyway. He looked like he was playing piano and he was playing on low key. And Nathan Martin saw that. He smelled the blood from a distance and he went for it. He wins it. I'll give the winner what he wanted. Fair, and it was a fair win, or I don't know. People are debating about that distraction for the Kenyan. Because let me put it to you this way. When you are tired, when you are fatigued, when your body is shutting down on you in marathon, there's one thing you don't want: a fan distracting you. We've seen this before. There's a race that a fan came and grabbed and wrestled a Brazilian in a marathon. Was it Olympics or championship? It was very bizarre. You're running to win, but now you're running for your life when a fan attacks you. And I think to me, this is a problem. To have courses that are not secure for these athletes, it might look small from a distance. You might think, that's just an aberration. It's just some crazy fans. But these athletes have to be laser focused. Most when they are tired. It's 26.2, my friend. Everything matters. Everything matters, my friend. So when you are distracted slightly, mentally and physically, things go haywire. So for me, this is an issue, it's a security issue for me. When somebody says that they were feeling threatened or something was being said, because you can say that in a game like football, basketball, maybe you have 11 players, they might get away with it, which is never right anyway when you are doing that. But in marathon, you cannot afford to have a fan on the course. You cannot. The price is very high. Because I've never run marathon, but I can imagine you are tired to the bones. You've maxed out, and here comes a fly or a bee or a fan attacking you. Woo, my friend. He paid the ultimate price. Nathan Martin wins it ahead of Michael Kimani Kamau. Priska Chirono takes it for the women in 2:25 ahead of Kellen Taylor in 2:27. LA Marathon. Oh, we're in Hollywood. What do you expect? Some crazy stuff, and it happens here. Listen, it's an LA thing, and to me, it's a problem. We've seen this back to back in America. As like I said last time, there's a car issue. I think it was the lead car that guides the athletes in the course, and there was a distraction or somebody got hit. I'm not familiar with the details. I don't have the details with me, but that's never good. But let's finish on a high note. Jacob Kiplimo breaks the world record in half marathon, 57:20. Wow, in Lisbon, Portugal. When you're talking of Portugal, we are talking of Lisbon. When you're talking of Lisbon, We're talking of Lisbon earthquake back in the days. He breaks it by 10 seconds of Yomif Kejetcha, the Ethiopian. Jacob Kiplimo. Joseph, this is Joshua Cheptegei. These are Ugandans, my friend. This is a new crop of athletes we are watching right now. And they are the neighbors of Kenya. Kenyans are having issues. Ugandans are having issues, but their issues are positive. Kenyans' issues are negative. Last week I talked about our appetite for cash and doping and all that. Ugandans have been very well. They have been doing very well when it comes to issues of scandals. They're just winning. It's like two countries or two ships meeting in the dark somewhere, and they are both just sailing in the different directions. Uganda going the right way. They are going to the north. Kenyans are going to the south. Yes, Jacob Kiplimo. Last time he won was 2026 Wild Cross Country in Tallahassee, Florida. Don't forget the guy, man. He's on a roll. He's winning. He's a winner. And he's from Kampala, Uganda. Cheza na Uganda. You know, we laugh at Ugandans very much because their political system is totalitarian. They have a tyrant in Museveni, Yoweri, who has been anything but. You know, this guy came in leadership in 87 as a guerrilla fighter, fighting to rescue Uganda from anarchy of Okello and Idi Amin and all that rubbish of the history of a country. And the first thing he said that I'll be here just for one term. This guy has been in the office and he's about to be buried in a toilet somewhere in the office of presidency of Uganda. So we laugh at them because they don't have democracy in Uganda. They talk of elections, but it's not elections. It's re-elections. I mean, Uganda should not just say they are just having re-elections because they are re-electing. They are not really. Bob Wine, man, I've watched the politics of Uganda. It's very sad. They've become almost like they've given up when you look at the youth and the people of Uganda, but they are winning. And I think one thing that people say winning is enough. And I think that can send the wrong message that if Jacob Kiplimo is breaking one record, why do you care about the presidency and the politics of Uganda? Is freedom something you can compromise just because you're winning? Huh? Because totalitarians use sports a lot. That's how they say promote. They build stadiums. Kenya is doing a stadium, Talanta Stadium. So if we are winning, you have a presidency just jumping in everything that looks glamorous. Harambee Stars are winning. Here comes the president. Faith Kipyegon is winning. Here comes the president. A lady, what was her name, who hugged the tree for 72 hours? The president is like, bring out the state house. Trust me, totalitarians know how to self-promote. They're looking for any sunshine, any victory. Kiplimo Jacob might be going to Museveni and saying, I'm the world record holder in half marathon. Please stay in power. Totalitarians, I tell you, freedom is not something. If you are going to compromise your freedom just because your sports is doing incredibly well, we can talk about sports until the sun goes down. But tyrants, dictators use sports a lot. That's where they're sitting on the throne and saying, look, hail Hitler. Hey, we have the Olympics in Berlin, 1936. Sochi, Vladimir Putin. We are holding Winter Olympics and World Cup. It goes on and on. Now Trump has LA Olympics. And who does he look like? Yes, my friend, trust me. Sports, Uganda, Jacob Kiplimo, Femke Bol, they are winners. They are couple now. And then we have that LA Marathon, my friend. Give me your comments, my friend. You are always welcome. It's free. That's the only thing you have to do is click. When you click, you hear this guy. And this guy brings it from the fact that Noah has abandoned the ship. And the ark is floating with no captain in Kenya, in Nairobi. No captain. And we don't know how many animals are in the ark. It might just be floating down Nairobi River. Captain of the country is abandoned the country. All he cares about is the choppers flying them high by and by in the sky. You know, it's very interesting because these politicians don't give a damn about the ground, my friend. They're just flying. They don't even drive anymore. They just fly. So they're looking down and says, "Oh, you miserable voters, you common Mwananchi, you hold on to that tree, man. Hold on. Search and rescue is coming. He's coming in form of chapati floating down." Ah man, I can turn this Tuko Riada into Tuko comedy, my friend. I think I'm a comedian. What do you think? You are laughing? If you're not laughing, you're a sad human being. Talk to you later, my friend. It was me. I'll end on a high note. We are in this together. It's not an act of God. No, it's not. It's our own making. Talk to you later, my friend.